This edition of One Play Wednesday is going to look at Josh Jacobs' game-winning touchdown run against the Seahawks in Week 12, 86 yards in overtime. Just a lead zone play that's played really poorly by the weak side inside linebacker for Seattle. I really don't enjoy pointing out a bad technique or overly committal technique that doesn't allow you to redirect as a linebacker. I really don't enjoy it, but Josh Jacobs, I wanted to highlight this play, and unfortunately, a part of the analysis is I'm going to have to talk about the inside linebacker for the Seahawks. So 33 carries, 229 yards, game-winning touchdown run here, 86 yards. A lot to say about it. We'll break it down a little bit. One thing I do want to say is, one thing we taught players when it's a breakout touchdown like this is leave people alone. We would actually tell them, veer away. If it's a kid who's not going to, or a player who's not going to get caught, just veer away. Don't even put yourself in a situation where you can possibly get called for a penalty. So as we talk about this, let's talk about the fullback and the halfback. Full flow, meaning they're flowing to the same side off the snap. So they're going to the same side. We got a front side inside linebacker and a backside inside linebacker. Why do people use a fullback? What was the reason for a fullback? You have gaps established, A and A, 2 B gaps, 2 C gaps, and then a D gap outside the tight end. Okay, so you got 7 gaps established here pre-snap. What's the fullback do? Creates another gap. He creates 2 gaps where there was 1. So this is what was C gap between the tight end, Foster Moreau, and the right tackle. So let's pull this back so you can see it again. He's got a 4-eye. He's just going to turn this 4-eye that direction. And then Foster Moreau is going to turn the edge player that direction. C-gap, which is this right here, is going to get expanded and filled by the fullback. So where there was 1 gap, there's now 2 in here. Well, how do you defend it? If you have 2 linebackers meet there, one on the front side of the fullback and one on the back side. Or if you're a 3-4 team and you've got a bonus player, maybe you've got a strong safety rolled up here, you can wrong arm the fullback. So wrong arm, it means the front side inside linebacker get to the inside. Don't run, to the inside. Take on the fullback, knock him back, but to the inside shoulder. Force the ball to bounce into this gap where presumably a strong safety or maybe a fast-flowing backside inside linebacker can flow over the top if you're a fast-flow team. What you can't do is this. You can't let the front side guy take it on and then the backside guy get caught up over here, filling what was his gap. Don't get me wrong. Pre-snap, this is his gap. But we would teach stay on the inside hip of the tailback if you're the backside inside linebacker. You got to stay on the inside hip. So whatever that path is, if it's toss, then you got to run. You got to run because you got to match the speed or match 80 to 90% of the speed of the running back with what he's doing. If it's a downhill run, let's talk about midline with the fullback. Then you're going to fit here now. It's a 100% path by the fullback, midline option. This isn't midline. This is lead zone, if you ask me, or just lead. And look at the gap between the backside inside linebacker and where Jacobs is. There's the hip. How many yards is it from there? Is that 4? At least 3, I would say, right? Just way too big of a gap and worry. He should be shuffling square to the midline because he's got full flow here. And once he sees the running back commit to this side, then attack. And where he would be, he would end up fitting on the inside of 45, right where the ball goes. Ran himself out of the play. And again, I think it's Hollins. He's so excited. I know the Raiders have had a difficult season, and they're excited to get a win. You just got to get the hell out of there. Get away from those guys. Look at the effort by Tariq Woolen. The last thing you want ever is to get, and I've seen it before, is to get a touchdown called back by inadvertent contact or a referee who's got an axe to grind. Josh Jacobs, the Raiders deserve all the credit. I spent a lot of time talking about an NFL inside linebacker, the quality of which I've never been able to work with myself or clearly approach in terms of my own athletic ability. So meant no disrespect there, but am quite sure that upon watching the film, his coaches and himself and other players will be like, hey, we've got an extra gap created here. We need an extra defender in this situation. It's a too high alignment pre-snap because you got Devontae Adams over to the weak side. So there's some stress on the defense created there by Devontae Adams' presence on the backside. Let me know what you think. One Play Wednesday is something I do to try to, just highlight individual plays in the NFL from each week and get some views up, get maybe extra eyes on the channel. And let me know what you think of this video and my breakdown. If you think I missed any elements, I didn't talk about the edge play or the D tackles really a whole lot. Josh Jacobs had an unbelievable performance. I think he's in a career season, having a career season right now in what looks like to be a contract year, and he's going to get a lot of money based on the way he's playing right now.